This year, Malaysia celebrates 56 years of independence. That's 56 years as a nation that has stood on its own 2 feet and prospered. All of which were made possible by none other than our first Prime Minister, Tunku Abdul Rahman. The team at Live Life Drive and Chevrolet have retraced Tunku's footsteps when he announced to the nation its independence on that day on August 31st, 1957. To kickstart our journey, we head towards a small town with a big trove of historical treasures, also known as the City of History. This is Malacca. Arriving at our first stop, the Batu Berendam Airport is the very place where Tunku Abdul Rahman and his entourage arrived from London on February 8, 1956. Bearing the good news and holding the most important document for Malaysia's independence in his hands. From Batu Berendam Airport, Tunku was immediately ferried to Padang Hilir, where he addressed a crowd of 100,000 and broke the news that Malaysia's independence from British rule would be declared on August 31st, 1957. Today, Padang Hilir is known as Dataran Pahlawan, which most visitors would recognize as a shopping mall rather than a site of historic significance. Located next to Dataran Pahlawan is the Proclamation of Independence Memorial, which serves as a reminder of the Dataran's historical significance in the birth of our nation. It's here that we find Tunku's own 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air. Born into the Kedah royal family, Tunku was able to indulge in the finest automobiles. This is the very car used to ferry dignitaries to Stadium Merdeka to witness the independence of Malaysia. From here, we continue on the Great Man's Tyre Tracks and leave Malacca heading towards Kuala Lumpur. To our next destination, Stadium Merdeka, when Tunku Abdul Rahman declared Malaysia's independence to the world. Sebuah negara demokrasi yang merdeka dan yang berdaulat. 56 years has passed since Tunku declared Malaysia's independence at Stadium Merdeka. And our nation has come a long way since, but Stadium Merdeka still stands unchanged. Taking the back roads to remind ourselves of how travel was back in his day, we travel north to Tunku's birthplace. It's not hard to imagine that Tunku himself may have taken these back roads in his Bel Air. But that wasn't the first time that a Chevrolet was driven on Malaysian roads. In 1926, Chevrolet drove one of their cars from Seberang Perai all the way to Singapore in a day as an endurance test. Today, it's no longer a test of endurance. We continue on to Alor, the birthplace of Tunku Abdul Rahman, who was born on February 8, 1903, the 20th child of Sultan of Kedah. He honed his political skills here in his home state, where he rose from the ranks of a cadet in the Kedah Civil Service to become Kulim's district officer during the Japanese occupation. In 1951, when Tunku took the reins of the newly formed UMNO political party, you could say that the rest is history. Our final stop is here at the Langgar Royal Mausoleum. Although Tunku was the only Prime Minister of royal descent, his eternal slumber here at the Royal Mausoleum in Alor wasn't because of royal descent, but a personal choice, as he envisioned that there would be a long future ahead for Malaysia, and the place he decreed as the final resting place of Malaysian heroes was for those who came after him. As expected of the man who achieved independence for Malaysia, he had great ambitions, hopes and dreams for this nation. Without him, we wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't be shouting with pride, Merdeka! 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 Tonight we are young, so let's set the
tonight.